All right, everybody. It's good to see you back again for our science review lesson. Okay. Now, I know some of you might be hungry, so it's okay to eat a little snack. Okay. But make sure that when we start reviewing, that you're not too busy just looking at your plate and eating. A small snack, no bigger than my finger. Yeah, like one cookie to give you a little energy, or half a sandwich. Okay, a small sandwich, no bigger than a finger. All right. So let me go over the rules again for those of you who forgot, because I know some of you, when you were sitting for our other lesson, some of you were going, ugh, and some of you were going, you were falling asleep on the camera, and some look like, all right. So let's go over the rules again. Rule number 1. Imagine that this class right now is in the classroom, which means all of us are going to sit right. Yes, we don't look like we're lying down, falling asleep. We're sitting right as if we're sitting on a chair in our classroom. All right. Rule number 2. Be good listeners. That means your eyes are on the person speaking, ears are listening, and lips are zipped, which means finish your last bite or two from your snack, because once we start, I don't want to see anybody go as if I have squirrels and rabbits in front of me. Okay, so finish your last bite or finish your last sip of water. All right, and rule number 3, I need to see your beautiful faces. You must keep your camera on. And no, I don't want to see the walls or any room in your house. I want to see you. Okay? I want to see the beautiful girls and handsome gentlemen that are in my yard school. All right? So I want to see you. I don't want to see you like this. I want you looking straight at the camera. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. All right then. So let's get started. In our last science review, we were talking about rocks. That rocks could come in many shapes. They could be tiny, very, very tiny, like sand. Or they could be huge, like boulders on mountains. Okay? You can find rocks anywhere. You can find them in mountains. You can find them in houses. You can find them on the street. You can find them in beaches, under the water. You can find them in caves. Rocks are everywhere. And there are many kinds of rocks, just like there are many kinds of students here. Some who are still eating. So stop eating, please. All right. There are many kinds of rocks. Some rocks are really hard. You can't cut them, even with a knife, like granite. Very hard rock with big grains. Grains are like spots. And then there are rocks that are shiny. They're smooth and they look beautiful, but they're just as hard, like marble. If you ever walk into my yard school and look down on the floor in the hallway, you will see that it's made of marble. It's shiny, it's smooth. Some rocks come in layers, okay? You can find them in deserts and you can find them on beaches, like sandstones. And some rocks, scientists love them. They are the ones that tell us what lived in the past millions and millions of years ago. People weren't alive a million years ago. Imagine living with the dinosaurs. They'll go swoosh on us. Okay? But how do we know that they're there? Because we see fossils on rocks called limestone. Limestone are excellent rocks to see fossils in. But today is not about rocks. Today is all about soil. How many of you, raise your hand, have a garden? Excellent. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people only have gardens? Okay. How many have went to the park? Everybody's hand should be going up. Yes, I went to the park. Did you see any soil that you can play with? That you can put in buckets? No? Okay. How you? Okay, good, good, good. How many of you have moms that like to put flowers in the house? Now everybody's hands like, yes, my mommy has plants in the house. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. What does she put the plants in that the plants need to get their water and to get their nutrients? Starts with an S. Shout it out. I can tell if someone shouted it right. It is soil. Very good, Judy. Well done. Okay, soil. So today it's all about soil. What is soil? What's it made of? Okay, and then I'm going to give you a small little quiz. See how well you were listening. So again, everybody, make sure you're sitting right. Okay, make sure your eyes are on the speaker, which is a computer. Ears listening, lips zipped. Thank you, Taline. Good. Taline's like fixing her chair. She needs to sit right. Thank you. Awesome, young lady. Awesome. Okay. All right. Thank you, Omar. I'm glad that you were all sitting right. Yes. Thank you, Julie. Julie's making sure the camera is just right. Perfect. All right. Let's get started. Now, we have seen this PowerPoint before, but it's a good review. All right. So I'm going to ask you, like I asked before, I need to know if people can see. So can you see the slide that says, what is soil, with 2 pictures and a light bulb on? If you can see it, show me a thumbs up. If you can see the light bulb and what is soil, give me a thumbs up. No, Eileen, I don't want a color. I want a thumbs up if you can see it. Can you see the slide? All right, excellent. Excellent. Okay. Excellent. All right. Thank you. But to those of you who I don't see their faces, please turn on your cameras. If you don't know how, please ask mommy or daddy or anybody that is around you. All right? So, what is soil? Let's look at this rock right here. These 2 rocks. They don't look round and full, do they? They look like they're full of holes, right? As if somebody took a knife and went and took off pieces, right? It wore away. It took off pieces from those rocks, correct? Well, it has been worn away by seawater, which is found in the ocean or the sea. It's been worn away from rain. The rain would wash it away, kind of like when we wash our faces. We go to wash away the dirt, right? Well, rain also can wash away pieces of rock, small pieces, very small. And over the years, they can make big holes in the rock. And even the wind went wore away piece by piece by piece from the rock until it became smaller, 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 until it's so small. It's like sand, okay? So clay, sand, and silt, these kinds of soil that we see, they come from rocks that have been worn away or broken off of big pieces of rock. All right. Did you know that there are 3 kinds of soil? There is sandy soil, loamy soil, and clay soil. All right. So what's the difference between them? Well, sandy soil, if you put water on it, it will let the water pass very easily. Loamy soil, it's a little tight together, so a little water passes through. But clay, it's like glue, sticks together, nice, tight. If you try to put water in it, it will not let it pass. It will hold it. All right? So soil can let water through, but some, like sand, lets it all through, and others, like clay, doesn't let any through. All right? Now, let's take our magnifying glass as scientists and look deeper, much deeper into the soil. We can see what? They look gooey and icky. Boys love to hold them and go, ee! What are these? They're worms, insects, bugs. I'm sure that some of my students and some students have been holding bugs and going, ah, bugs, 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 bugs. Well, I know the boys like to hold bugs out of the soil and go, okay? So we see that there are bugs and living things like worms in the soil. We can also see that plants put their roots in the soil. What does the soil feel like when you hold it? Does it feel wet? Can it feel wet? If the answer is yes, hold up your fingers. Hold up your thumb up. Yes. Yes. Soil can feel wet. Can soil feel dry? Yes. Sandy soil can feel dry. Okay. Can it feel sticky? The answer is yes. Like clay soil, it feels like Play-Doh. It's very sticky. Okay. So soil can feel dry. It can feel wet, or it can feel sticky. All right. Can soil feel smooth, or does soil feel a little rough? If it's smooth, hold your thumb up. Ah, good. Some people are thinking some soil can feel smooth if it doesn't have all these pieces inside. Can it also feel rough? Yes, it can. Have you ever felt soil between your hands? Some are very rough on your hands, and some feel smooth. All right, let's do some more. Okay, rocks break off to form tiny pieces. They have been worn away by water and the wind. Now, these tiny pieces of rock mix with humus. No, not hummus. Not hummus. We're not talking falafel and hummus, guys. We're talking humus, not hummus and falafel. I know some of you are thinking, food, hummus. No, it's not hummus. It is humus. Okay? So, tiny pieces of rock mix with humus, air, and water to make soil. So what is humus? Well, have you ever put a sandwich in your lunchbox and then forgot about it for 7 days? Does it turn icky and mushy? Does it smell bad and yucky? Yeah, that's because the food, your sandwich, has gotten rotten. It's going bad. Okay, it's rotting away. All right. How about fruits? Have any of you left an apple in a basket in the kitchen and you saw it go brown and then green and then it looks like it's falling apart and oozing? Has anybody had fruits that gone bad? They smell horrible, right? And they look horrible too. Well, humus is when plants or animals, they start going bad and rotten. They start getting green and mucky and they smell really bad. Okay? That's because they're breaking into tiny, tiny pieces. They're going bad. They're rotting. So humus is when plants and animals are dead and they're rotting away. They're becoming bad. They're becoming tiny pieces. Okay? So what is soil made of? It's made of rocks, humus, which is rotting plants and animals, air, and water. All right? Now, let's look at this clay, the clay soil. You see all this? All the stuff that is mixed together? Those small pieces all put together, the pieces of rock, the humus, the drops of water, all these particles in the soil, are they big and huge? Or are they very, 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 very tiny? If you said big, no. If you said tiny, then the answer is yes. It's very tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Even tinier than putting your two fingers together. Now let's look at sandy soil. Let's look at the rocks and the humus. Okay? Is it as tiny as the ones found in clay soil, or is it a little bigger? Is it a little bigger? If it's a little bigger, say thumbs up. That's right. Thank you, Siwar. Thank you, Hashem. Okay? Thank you. I'm glad some people are listening. Okay, so the particles are put together to make the soil, the humus, and the pieces of rock. They can be really, really, really tiny. I mean tiny. When I say tiny, even if I put my two fingers together, they're tinier than that. And some, like sandy soil, the particles, the pieces, they are a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger. Okay? Now, what is loamy soil? Remember, we said sandy soil lets all the water run away. That's not good for plants. And clay soil grabs it and doesn't let go. Is that good for plants? No. So plants need a mix. They need loamy soil, a mix of clay soil and sandy soil put together so that plants can get their water and their food. So again, sand, silt, and clay. These are three kinds of soil. Let's look closer at them. Sandy soil. If it lets the water pass through, what does that mean? Is it tightly together or very, very loose? Very, very loose, right? To let the water pass through, correct? Let's look at silt. Silt. Is it good for plants? Not really. It's a little too tight, okay? Now let's look at clay soil. Is it very, very tight, Muhammad? Is it very, very tight? Stuck together? Yeah. It won't let any water pass. Mine, mine. You can't have it, plants. They're all mine, right? So clay soil, not very good. Silt, not very good. And sandy soil, not very good for plants. Loamy is the best because it's not too tight, like glue, and it's not too loose. Okay? All right then. Let's see if you remember what I said. Okay? I'm going to test your knowledge. I'm going to test your listening. So, everybody, remember, when I ask you to turn on your audio, you have to be very quiet. Okay? And when I count to 3, I'm going to listen for answers. All right? So you ready? Okay then. Everybody, turn on your audio. Okay. Now, very, very quiet, all right? No sound. Okay. Listen. Okay. The soil. Some people are talking. Okay. Zip. Very good. Now, soil is made up of tiny pieces of, on the count of 3, tiny pieces of 1, 2, 3. Plus, good. Plus, excellent. Now, zip. And it is made up, listen, it is made up of rotting plants and animals called 1, 2, 3. Who said hummus? Who said hummus? No. Humans. Very good. All right. Zip. And it's made up of something liquid that we drink, which is 1, 2, 3. Water. Okay, zip. One more. Okay, one more. Okay, so it's not made up of tiny pieces of rock, humus, water. One more. And it's mixed with something we breathe. 1, 2, 3. Air. Awesome. So, it's made of tiny pieces of rock, humus, air, and water. Very good. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask the next couple of questions very soon. There are different types of soil, such as clay soil, loamy soil, and sandy soil. Different types of soil they have different amounts of humus, clay, silt, and sand. All right. Now, clay soil lets the least. Doesn't let any water through. It holds it like glue. And sandy lets the most water through. Okay, it lets it almost all gone. All right, so here's my question. You ready? When I ask you to turn on your audio, nobody can talk. You listen to the question, wait to the count of 3 to answer. Okay? All right, turn on your audio. All right, listen to the question. My question is, what is the name of the soil that is a mix of clay and sandy? 1, 2, 3. You guys forgot? I'll ask again. Okay. All right. All right. Zip, 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 zip. Okay. Okay. Listen. Listen. Okay, I put all of you on mute. Listen. There are 3 kinds of soil: clay, loomy, and sandy. My question is, what is the name of the soil, okay, that is a mix of clay soil and sandy soil mixed together? Now, I'm going to ask you to turn on the audio, and I'm going to count to 3, and then I want one answer. So I'll ask again. What is the name of the soil that mixes clay and sandy soil together? 1, 2, 3. Loomy. That's right. Very good. All right. So, all right, guys. Question number 1. Total quiet. Question number 1. What is soil? What's it made of? Use the helping words. I'm going to say the word. If the soil is made from it, say yes. If it's not, say no. Okay, you ready? Are you ready? I need total quiet. Okay. Okay. I think I have to mute everybody. Okay. I just now zipped everybody because it was so loud. All right. Since everybody's so loud, I'm going to have to use a thumbs up. All right. If I say a word and it's what soil is made of, you have to use your thumbs up. Okay. If it's not, put thumbs down. Okay. What is soil? Does it have air? Excellent. Thank you, Tala. Does it have pieces of rock? Excellent. Hey, Naya. Yes, soil does have pieces of rock. Okay, so yes, pieces of rock. Does it have rubber? No. That's right. Thumbs down. No. Does it have water? The answer is yes. Thank you, Zena. Yes, it has water. Does it have living things in it? No. No. No, it doesn't. Remember, it has to be dead. It has to be rotting. Does it have humus? Does soil have humus? Yes. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, girls. Thank you, Omar. The answer is yes. Thank you, Naya. Yes. So soil has air, pieces of rock, water, and humus. All right. So we need to end our lesson today. So I'm going to ask everybody to turn on their audio, and we're going to say goodbye to each other. All right, on the count of 3. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
See you soon.
Goodbye. Goodbye.